Your Best Life podcast. And today with me, I have my good friend, Maggie Englander, and she is a health and mindset specialist. Welcome to the show, Maggie. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. It's super exciting to be here with you, Rosa. Thank you for inviting me and having me here. Well. This morning I woke up being so excited already. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming. So I guess what we'll do is we'll just start by having you introduce yourself to my audience. What do you do? What are you all about?
Okay, great. So as you said, I'm a health and mindset specialist and also a breakthrough coach. And I've been coaching, consulting, mentoring people for the last over 20 years. And I absolutely love it. It's like every day, it's so exciting. I'm just so happy. And I keep thanking God for giving me opportunities and skills and wisdom to be able to do it. I love self-development and self-growth. So whilst I'm coaching others, I'm taking care of how I'm growing, how I'm perceiving the world and what I do. But in terms of my clients, as I said, I've been working with people who are 18 and over, so with the adults. My youngest client was 17, turning 18 on the day that I saw him, and my oldest client was 96.
Oh, wow.
So,
So you have
yeah,
quite the variety of
yes,
clients.
yeah, I do. So what I do with them is I coach them to achieve personal successes desires, which are the most aligned with how they feel in terms of health and happiness. So how I like to be saying, what I like to be saying about myself is to be coaching you at emotional fitness,
Hmm.
overcoming any barriers, obstacles that you have in your life. So, whilst I have several degrees and several qualifications that I gained throughout my life, what I love to be doing with clients is exploring their past to resolve any emotional baggages that they have, help them to overcome any obstacles from their past that might be blocking them to progress further on in their lives, creating with them the most beautiful, aligned with their desires and with their core values, compelling futures for themselves, and then wise equipping them with the best techniques and methods of how to help themselves on the way up there where they're heading.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's lots of things that I do about clarity, visualization, and as I said before, overcoming any mental health barriers like depression, anxiety, stresses, burnouts, inner conflicts, overwhelmed, tiredness. Whilst also I do lots of things about healthy weight, hydration, nutrition, sleeping, addictions, especially smoking. I love smoking. I don't smoke myself, but I love my
Yeah.
smoking clients.
Oh,
So,
okay.
etc., etc. So there's variety, Rosa.
There
There's much.
is. Well, wow, you do a lot. I didn't realize. Yeah.
Yeah. And it, this
Um,
is. Mhm.
that's awesome. Yes. So do you find some of the clients that you help, do you find that, not only do they, become more successful and reach their goals, but do you find that they resolve any kind of, physical ailments that they've been, suffering from?
Yes, definitely. As I've been since a little child, I've been always fascinated by humans' minds. I decided to get fascinated with humans' bodies as well. So
Mhm.
there is variety of work I do around weight management. And
Oh,
my classes, my sessions are not just around, getting fit. It's around being inspired and motivated in order to explore what's really happening, underneath your body as well as mind, to have it aligned with one another and to have happy, successful life whilst being of the best health. So yeah, I used to work at psychiatric hospitals for a long time, And I used to be running one of the mental health charities here in England where I live. And it was just fascinating just to learn, how people journeys are, to success. I used to be working with a few ex-multimillionaires from London, but
Wow.
it was just such an eye-opener for me just to know, to learn, first of all, to learn about their own, stories. But secondly, I felt so sorry for them because all their life they were just so driven. They were
Mhm.
so driven to get rich. They were so driven to get successful. They were so driven to have all the money they could have possibly had without recognizing the importance of mental health.
Oh, yes.
So when they got to the top, they were so burned out. They were so stressed. They were so conflicted within their bodies. They just purely burned out. They lost
Mhm.
businesses, their wives walked away on them, and
Oh
they just,
gosh.
ended up in psychiatric hospitals. So
Wow.
so I had clients like this as well. So that's very powerful. And I always use this example to inspire other people who need to hear it, because sometimes we're just so kind of like blocked in a box of our minds that we are not being able to see what's happening, everywhere else. And also, we have our lives to lead, and we are not aware of so many other, personal stories. So I'm lucky enough to have so many of them, and
Yeah.
and I can easily make connections and links to help everyone to rewire themselves accordingly to how they really want to spend the rest of their lives, to create your life on purpose and on your terms, rather than fearing what's going to happen to you next.
Wow, that is so powerful. Yeah, I think a lot of times we don't realize, we look at other people's lives and then we think they're so amazing and so successful, but we don't realize, kind of the price they've paid and how they may be suffering at the very top.
Exactly. I think it depends probably on the culture as well. I used to be working in Poland for many years, and then Netherlands and England. And so I have good insight of, how people are from different cultures. And as I said, I think up to now, I've been having about 3,000 clients. So that's
Wow.
amazing. It's just giving me such a great insight towards what's happening across different ages, different ethnicities,
Hmm.
different communities. Uh, because it's not only one topic or one theme that I cover, it's a variety of them. So I attract lots of different people to come to me.
Wow. Wow. That's quite an eclectic library you have of
Yeah, I feel so
clients.
blessed, Rosa. I feel absolutely blessed.
Well, what do you think is the number one thing that is stopping people from reaching their true potential?
Yeah, number one to me is what I see it on, what I see on daily basis is people living their lives as they were born into societies. So from the
Oh,
very, very early childhood, they're being taught how to behave nicely and accordingly to everyone's expectations and demands. So so
yes.
many so many of us never even realize that what they do and what they feel is not really their own thing. It's something that is being created by the societies they live in. So for many people is, I think I always say that the first step to recognize what we really need is to tune in and understand what your core values are, what's really aligned with you, what you really want for yourself, as opposed to your parents, wives, husbands, and children. So I think this is it, tuning in within yourself to actually understand what's really happening with you, not with everyone else who are influencing you.
Yes. A lot of that sounds like a lot of, projection. Um,
Yes. Oh,
a lot of
yes.
things are being projected. I'm mindful of that now. I think we deal with that our whole lives. Yeah, school and family and media is a big one right now. You know.
Exactly. And just, and it's just so easy uh to step back and never
Yeah.
realize and never pursue with your own potential, because not many people, that just always there'll be always people who may feel uh, that they don't like the change they see in you. They got to see you, your kind of like your past yourself,
Hmm.
and for different reasons, uh, they may feel intimidated by the changes that you make. And surely when you make change, it triggers them to think about themselves, and not everyone is ready to think, or this way. And so I think this is it. Also, I think one of the biggest barriers, I think, for people is to really understand what roles in life they have. Because, for example, for me, like, I have so many roles. Like, I'm a mom, and I'm a partner, and I'm employee, and I'm a businesswoman, and I'm a friend. I'm
Hmm.
there are just so many of roles that we all have to play. So it's just to prioritize which roles give you the best outcomes for life that you want to attract. This is very, very important. And to be true with yourself, what's really happening with you. It's how you really want to feel, what you want to become, who you want to become, what you want to attract in life, what you want to have. So it's just all around your own desires. But in all of this, my life has been always teaching me how to be humble.
Yeah.
So even now, I'm running my business. I'm still working as a health consultant for local council as well. But on top of it, I keep doing my voluntary work twice a week, which keeps me humble, which keeps me being able to contribute free services to my local community, who are not who are not in the position of paying for my services, but they still get benefits of me being out there for them.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I think it's really important to stay humble. That just keeps you grounded.
Definitely. And I always say that when we do appreciate what we have, we will always have more. And
Yes.
so, I think it's super powerful just to recognize, how amazing and influencing our behaviors and what we do is our internal talk, what we say to ourselves, what messages we attract. I do a lot of work around managing our inner energy in terms
Mhm.
of how we perceiving world through all our senses, and how we need to be keeping the internal energy well balanced within us by allowing ourselves to attract the best places we go to, the best things we surround ourselves with, the best and uplifting music that we listen to, and all the work around it. Even people who we decide to spend our time with, because as you may know, we are an average of two people that we spend the most time with. So
Yes.
it's even who we talk to is so important and influential over how we feel on a daily basis.
Oh yes, that is so true. I learned that to be true, and I learned, once I started doing all this inner work, personal development, the more positive that I projected outwardly, it seemed to affect everybody around me. You know,
Exactly,
you're like a
exactly.
you're like a magnet or a light.
Exactly. So many people, as I said, we are being born into society. We are being born into different families. But for example, in my family, I had very, very tough childhood. I was
Mhm.
born into family where mental health, emotional health was not recognized at all. Everyone showing any symptoms of weaknesses was abused, verbally
Mhm.
abused, and emotionally abused. And I was born into family that I had to perform certain things for, towards in order to maintain peace and calmness and happiness around myself. So this is very, very important, who we spend our time with, and also
Yeah.
recognizing our own achievements. People are just pushing through all the time
Yeah.
without, not many of us do self-evaluations, not many of us, do self appreciation, not many of us do self gratitude and
Yes.
self that many people don't do certain things because they were never taught it at schools. And uh, and I even, as I said, I had very, very hard, difficult childhood, but I forgave my parents because I know that they did their best. And also, I learned within time that they didn't show me love because no one previously in their lives showed love to them.
Oh, yes.
So they didn't know how to project love on me. So they did their best,
Yeah.
but and I think now I'm just even treating it as a blessing because I think of the hardship that I experienced, it taught me much of meditation and mindfulness, and first of all how to help myself before I'm able to help everyone else.
Oh, yes. That's so important. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think, it's important to realize where we come from, and how we're able to learn and grow and help others through all that. And it's really important to, we can stop that chain of abuse and, um, learn from it and negativity or whatever we come from. We can kind of stop that with ourselves, and then we can change everybody around us.
exactly. I remember a long time ago, I there was a light bulb in my kind of like in my mind, and it taught me. I think I switched my thinking from why is this happening to me, as I was constantly feeding myself, why is this happening to me? Why not to you? Why not to you? Why is this
Yeah.
happening to me? And I switched it to what is this teaching me?
Yes.
And the moment I realized my internal power, that I'm able to rewire my life at any stage, any time, with any mindset, with any health that you have, that you can actually start being the main driver of your life rather than being passive passenger of it.
Yes.
My life totally changed. And so much part of my work is to do with encouraging and empowering and inspiring people, because we all need to hear it. Sometimes we just have it in our minds, but if someone tells you this, it's kind of like double power, right? So it's always,
Yeah.
it's I have many clients who say, um, Maggie, as long as we know that we can contact you anytime, or as long as we know that you are there, at the other side of the phone, or we going to see you once a month, let's say, this is all what we need after coaching them for kind of like intensively for a few weeks or for a few months to start with. So we all need someone who kind of like sparks, ignites the spark in us, if I,
Yes.
um, as I said.
Yeah. Accountability and support is very
Definitely,
important.
definitely.
What are the first steps do you think that people can take to move their life in a more, positive direction?
I would always say become your best friend.
Okay.
No matter how bizarre or how strange or impossible it might sound at first. As I've been doing, as I said before, I've been having countless clients when it comes to weight management, and
Mhm.
resolving inner conflicts, overcoming depression, overcoming anxiety, just helping them to get better. Um, it's all around, how to understand yourself well and how to prioritize your needs first without feeling awkward or guilty of not being able to do as much for others as you're doing for yourself to start with. Because the stronger you grow, the stronger you become, the more beautiful apple tree you become, the more, the more beautiful fruits you will start to produce. So I would
Mm-hmm.
always say, start with yourself. And
Okay.
therefore, and therefore, I always say as well that through your happiness, through self gratification, through self compassion, through self evaluation of your achievements rather than your failures,
Mm-hmm.
this is what needs to happen. Because I think to me, no one, I've been having so many clients wanting to change their diets. I've been
Mm-hmm.
having so many clients wanting to increase their level of physical activities. I had many clients who've been sleeping very poorly or who were suffering from insomnia and not being able to sleep. But deep down, if they're unhappy with who they are, it will be just such a struggle for them to make a change. So
Wow.
starting
Yes.
with, yes, starting with really understanding yourself, becoming your best friend, providing yourself with the best opportunities to increase your self-worth, that's always the best step to start any positive modifications or changes in our lives.
Yes, I'd have to agree. Yes, I know if we start with ourselves, then that just projects onto the world, and we influence everybody around us, and we can, we're happier and healthier, and everyone seems to notice that.
Yeah. And Rosa, I must tell you, long time ago, when I was a little child, I was so shy.
Yes.
I was terrified of my own shadow.
Oh
I still
gosh.
remember being a child and just so afraid to feel my own shadow.
Yeah.
Wherever I was going, whatever I was doing, and whoever I had to be meeting with, I was always trying to make myself invisible. This is
Mhm.
how shy and insecure I was. And look at me now.
Yes, look at you now.
So I know, I know from my own even experiences how important it is to value yourself first off. And this is where my coaching comes in. There are just countless clients, who come and they say, oh, we cannot do this, we cannot do this. Or they keep labeling themselves with different, medical diagnoses or
Oh,
with,
yes.
many people come and say, oh, we wish we were able to do it.
Hmm.
But then for many, many different reasons, we cannot do it. And it's just, helping them to make the first step and overcome, as I said, the obstacles and the barriers that their families had put on them or they put upon themselves.
Yes, I think a lot of people stop themselves with the limitations. Yes,
Yes,
I know that was what I was struggling with for a very long time. And when you were talking about being really shy as a child, that was me too. And like, look at me now.
yeah,
But
exactly.
it did take, it just, sometimes it takes going through that experience, and then we can help others who are the same as we were, when, we were so shy and we were so afraid, but we went through life, and something changed in us, and we were able to do the inner work and overcome that, timidness and shyness and, um, lack of
Exactly.
confidence, I guess.
Exactly. I must tell you something personal. I went through a long period of depression in my life. Was a
Mhm.
long time ago as well. I was
Yeah.
going through divorce and many people rejected me and I was having difficulties kind of like to find myself on my own in a different country with my little kids and
Hmm.
with no support. I remember it got so bad that me as a driver, I was driving car and I was in competition with myself how long I can drive for with my eyes shut.
Oh no.
This is how
Oh,
this is how awful I felt at the time. But
yeah.
trying to compete here with myself, whether it would be just 5 seconds or 10 seconds, I was just putting myself in constant danger
Yeah.
of risking my life, and because I didn't value it at the time. It got to such a low moment that I was terrified. And so I think my so I think, yes, definitely, hearing stories of my clients, especially from psychiatric hospitals where I used to be working, and in combination with my own stories, and with combination of all the degrees and qualifications that I achieved throughout my life. As I said, I love what I do, and I have amazing results among my clients. I'm very happy and very blessed with it.
Yes, that's it's amazing work that you do.
Thank you.
Well, would you like to share some of your clients' successes if you're able
Yes.
to?
Yeah, I think just kind of like to represent, I think what variety of clients I attract. I must say that the youngest client I had was 17, turning 18 on the day I saw him. And he wanted to get himself at much better physical and mental state in order to leave his parents and go and live at university campus. So he was the youngest one that I had. And my oldest one was 96, a lady who was living by herself, and she really wanted to maintain her independence by living by herself, as her family was thinking about sending her to a care home. So I
Oh,
helped her
wow.
to make sure that she was able to stay where she was, also coaching and working with her family to not to be sending her away. So these are
Oh,
kind of like my youngest one and my oldest one. Uh, but yes, in one of the local magazines, one of my previous clients wrote an article, which it would be great if I can share with you.
oh yes, I'd love to hear it.
Thank you. So he came to me leaving psychiatric hospital, in which he spent about 2 months after trying to kill himself
Mhm.
by overusing alcohol as a result of relationship breakdown and his son being taken away from him. And he was a young man, he was about 25.
Oh,
So he
wow.
wanted to kill himself, he was starving himself to death, and he just decided to end up his life. But then a neighbor found him, and he was sent to psychiatric hospital, and he got help. So the moment
Yeah.
he left psychiatric hospital, he came to me. And then this is what he wrote in a magazine. I would like to say that Maggie has been such an amazing support and helped me to overcome my and the obstacles that were holding me back. Since stopping drinking and coming out of psychiatric hospital in October, Maggie has helped me with many aspects of life, including my diet. I'm now eating a much more balanced and healthy diet compared to 6 months ago, and have consequently lost lots of weight. And my mental health. Maggie has been there for me to talk to in our arranged sessions, and has helped me tackle any difficulties that I was facing. I'm now engaging in lots of mental health groups and have much more motivation. I would like also to say how thankful and grateful I am for the support of Maggie. My Polish name is Gosia, but I
Oh,
go for
okay.
Maggie.
Yeah.
She has she has a wide range of knowledge, ability to engage in conversation, such professionalism, and most of it, she is a very kind and helpful person with whom I have had the privilege of getting to know. So he was my
Wow.
first. So
That
I
is
love
very
him.
powerful. Wow.
Thank you. I helped him to overcome lots of things, and he got in
Yes.
contact with me about a year after this article was published. And we had a coffee. We met again. We had a
Oh,
coffee,
wow.
and he was doing so much better. And he
That's
was in
amazing.
such position that he was able to have his son back. And that was one of the greatest achievements for him, that he managed to overcome whatever he had to do for
Hmm.
his son to come back to him. So it was
Oh,
a
wow.
beautiful, beautiful story. And the other lady, she wrote a letter to me. I think she was about 88 when she came to me.
Oh,
She
okay.
didn't use any technology. So she decided to write a letter to me.
Yes.
And, and then she wrote, Dear Maggie, Many thanks for your letter outlining my recent appointments with you, including a list of healthy recommendations for me to continue working on. I had no idea what to expect from these meetings with you, but was quickly put at ease by your warm welcome and thoroughly enjoyed my sessions with you. I have learned a lot from them and continue to follow your advice. The 3 sessions that I had with you, I thoroughly enjoyed. Something you said to me on my last appointment, I will never forget. You cannot live in the past. You cannot live in the future. You have to live in the here and now, in the present. And of course, Maggie, each new day is indeed a present, should be cherished. I thank you for your warm and caring manners and look forward to seeing you soon again. And that lady's problem, that lady's issue she came to me with was she hated her age. She
Oh,
hated being in her 80s.
yeah.
She kept living as she was a little girl. And she said even that she hates her own look in the mirror. She was finding it so difficult to acknowledge that she's an elderly. So all the work that I did with her, as I did 3 sessions with her, was about cherishing and enjoyment of present life. As
Yeah.
I like to be saying that a life is like a book full of exciting chapters.
Hmm.
So, if we want to read a book, we just need to go and follow chapters through. Otherwise, we will never find out what the next chapter, what fascinating and amazing things the next chapter holds for us. So this is what I covered with her, and she regained, happiness. And also, I think maybe the last client I can tell about is a gentleman I recently coached. I think it was probably November, December 2020. And he came to me, he is 93, and he came to me after experiencing depression for a very, very long time in his life. And depression caused him to have very bad memory. And he thought that the bad memory is caused to his old age, but actually, there was just so much unresolved traumas in him that actually, when I helped him to overcome his traumas, his memory, despite of his old age, got back, and he was just so thankful
Oh,
to me for it.
wow.
And Rosa, can you imagine, at such old age, he decided even to start playing piano. He,
Wow.
he bought himself a piano and he started
That's
playing on it.
amazing. Oh
So
my gosh, that's so inspirational. Wow,
thank
that's
you.
amazing. Yeah, I don't think it's talked about enough about all this unresolved trauma and how it may be blocking us and, affecting our health, in such a
Yes.
negative, pain, not just pain in the body, but, even weight gain. I've heard of people gaining a lot of weight because they have all
Yes,
this
exactly. And
unresolved trauma. It's weight. It's physical, emotional weight, on the body.
yes, exactly. I have several clients who come to me who've been newly diagnosed with different medical conditions. And
Hmm.
they come to me for me to set up healthy safety management plan for them that covers holistically all areas of their lives. And for most of them, the emotional pain that they had been dragging in their mindset with them for such a long time triggered the illnesses. So the moment they
Hmm.
became much happier, much more aligned with themselves, valuing much more their self-care routine, I have several clients, and that I help with diabetes, with high cholesterol, with high blood pressure, and with many more. So it's easy for a doctor to say, okay, this is a medication and you need to be taking it, several days, several times a day for the last of your life. But actually, no one, anyone can get help, and anyone can rewire their health and their happiness towards feeling great without taking medications.
Yeah, that is so powerful. Well,
Thank
I I know that you have a few groups that you run. Would you mind telling us about some of those groups?
Yes, a pleasure. Thank you. So, yes, my coaching practice is called Rewiring Yourself. And at the moment, I'm based on Facebook. And as you said, Rosa, I have my two groups. So, one of them, the first of them, is the Undefeatables. So, it's supportive community for overcoming any obstacles in your life. So when it comes to burnout, depression, anxiety, to get healthy together, to get inspired by one another in order to know that you can change your life at any time as long as you know how to do it. And therefore I come into the picture to help you with it. And the other group, it's called Awesome Us. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
so it's uplifting, fun community of happiness, laughter, and feeling good together all the time. And as I like to be saying, where do we find happiness? We created ourselves, right?
Hmm.
So this is it. So the
Wow.
first one, Undefeatables, and the second one is Awesome Us, which
Awesomeness.
in my opinion nicely sit together in combination of those two.
Yes, and I will be linking those groups in the show notes for this episode. And um, in closing, is there anything else you want to add or tell our viewers?
I wanted to share with my best quote ever, which I love and I practice every single day. So the quote goes, make your dreams that big that temporary problems will seem insignificant in comparison.
Oh wow.
This
That
is,
is powerful. Yes, I love that.
thank you.
And where can people connect with you or work with you if they wish to do so?
Yes, so the best way at the moment, as I said, I'm based on Facebook. So by coming to my groups, messaging me, contacting me through Rewiring Yourself as well. I have my Instagram account called Rewiring Yourself, the same way, and I'm
Mhm.
building my website at the moment, but it's not up and running yet. So the
Okay.
best way is through my Facebook
It's through
page.
Facebook. Okay. Yes, and I will link all those resources. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Maggie. The conversation was just very insightful, enlightened, beautiful, and I'm really blessed to have you for a friend. And the work that you do is just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. As I said, thank you very much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to share what I know. And for my new potential Facebook friends, I run a Happy and Healthy Me series every Thursday evening on my personal page, in which I inspire and motivate people to take powers in their hands to
Yes.
become main driver of their life rather than being passenger.
Yes,
So
that
all
is
welcome.
that's the ticket, isn't it?
Thank you,
Okay.
Rosa.
Well, thank you so much. And I will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.